All right, so today is my 1-year anniversary of packing up my New York City life and moving upstate to Poughkeepsie, New York. I want to share this video today. It's about peace and empathy. Today I've been running around in some of my happy places, the places that I come to work things out of my head, places I come to breathe, to just kind of relax and reset. And I feel like I've been going through a lot lately, and I think part of the reason is that I'm working on this film, and it's a very, very intense process for me. It's kind of the culmination of a lot of things that I've been dealing with for the past 15 years. And so I think it's kind of cool. I can't believe that I've been living up here for a year. Like October 1st last year, I moved up here, and it flew by, but at the same time, when I think about the last time I was in my apartment in the Bronx, it just feels like it was a long time ago. And I know that I've moved on to another part of my life. So, I'll always have New York City in my blood, but I've definitely moved on to another space and time in my existence. I've been very reflective about my life and my work. And so, anyway, I'm just going to share. I'm using a Sony a6400, and I have a couple of things that I'll share with you soon. Looks like I'm going to be upgrading my camera for this film. I am shooting on my father's old 28mm Minolta Rokkor lens. It's a vintage lens. It's kind of hard to work with. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's all manual. It's manual aperture, it's manual focus, and for some reason the focus ring, I don't know, it just like at a wide open aperture, it's kind of hard to deal with the focus, but when I step it down a little bit, like right now I think about F11, it's a big ass truck that goes by, it's easier for me to deal with, so hopefully I'm in focus right now. But anyway, for the tech people, that's what I'm shooting with today. I actually love the way this lens looks, the colors, the character. It definitely looks different than my Sony lenses or, my newer, more modern autofocus lenses. It just has its own very unique look, and I enjoy working with it. It feels like me, which is kind of weird because it was my father's lens, and, I didn't feel like I really had anything in common with my father, but yeah, I'll talk about that in the film. So, yeah, Sony a6400, Minolta 28mm, which is really a 42mm equivalent to a full frame because it's a crop sensor camera. And here comes the video. So people who know me know that I am a pretty intense person by nature. I mean, I'm not the funny guy, I'm not the light guy, although, people who are very close to me know that I can act like an idiot, and act silly and do all that too, but generally in life, I'm pretty serious, I'm pretty intense, and that's been, I think, good for me in many, many ways, but it's also been kind of difficult, definitely, with regards to relationships, certainly, and with regards to work, there are certainly pros and cons to being as intense as I am. And so I've always looked at it as, like quality versus quantity, certainly with regards to people in my life, and with regards to work as well. But one thing I've definitely learned is that in order for you to survive being the kind of person that I am, like whether it be, in my case with making films or plays or music or whatever, or, in the case of relationships too, you have to definitely take time and make a conscious effort to find your peace. And that sounds like so cliche and so kind of, holistic, and, find your peace, find your inner strength and, your balance, your equilibrium, but it's so true. It's so true. If you don't have that, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna not be able to function, to the highest level that you can function. You're not gonna create the best art that you can create. In my case, you're gonna get sick. You're gonna break down. You're gonna get injured. Even with sports, with relationships, you're gonna break down. It's not gonna last very long. And so I have my happy places that I go to, every once in a while. And also, I train every morning. I run. Well, actually, I get up every day, and the first thing I do is stretch and do strength work, just to make sure that my body is in alignment, that everything is in balance, and that I'm not overlooking, the fact that I really need to pay attention to listen to my body, mind, and spirit, actually. Because if I don't do that, inevitably, because of the way I'm going like 100 miles per hour all the time, I am just going to completely fall apart. It's happened to me many, many times. And as you get older, you realize that you don't have but so many times to fall apart, where one day you're not going to be able to recover. You have to have this place that you go to, and I mean literally and figuratively. You have to have this place that you go to that slows you down, that has you find your breath, that has you hear your heart beating and feel your blood flowing through your body. Like literally, when I run, I don't listen to music ever, because I'm trying to feel my body working. Like, when I get up and I go out there and I start, putting some miles in on my running shoes, I think, damn, I can't believe that my heart is not exploding, that my circulatory system is actually working, that the connective tissues are keeping my bones together. I mean, it's amazing to me. And so I try to really pay attention to that, because I think it's really important to kind of shut out everything else that's going on and just give yourself a moment to reset and to remember that your existence is everything in terms of, just being here is a miracle, It's a miracle. In my case, like it's a miracle for anybody that you're born and that you survive. Like you're brought to the earth through this kind of, violent action that happens with a woman, where she's yelling and screaming and in the most pain that she's ever had in her whole life. And then you're born, you have blood all over your body in this placenta, and you're wet, and it's all nasty, but at the same time, it's considered the most beautiful moment in your whole life. You're born, you're brand new. Your whole life is opportunity. You're looking ahead at nothing but chances. You have a shot at doing everything right. But at the same time, you're going to fuck everything up from time to time. That's just the way it is. That's life. And so, in my case, when I think about all of that, and I think about how hard I work, and how oftentimes I don't feel like I get back, the same amount of energy that I put out with regards to pretty much everything in my life. I mean, I'm grateful for everything that I get back. I am never taking anything for granted, ever. But the fact is, if I'm being really honest, a lot of the time I don't feel like I get back what I put out. And I think a lot of people feel that way. And so I'm just here to say that this is the end for me. This is the end for me. It's this new film that I'm working on that, has a lot to do with all of this, because like I said, it's a miracle that you're here. It's a miracle that you survived, But in my case, I was adopted, I was immediately separated from my biological mother, placed in foster care, like taken in the hands of a stranger from the woman who birthed me, and just became a leap of faith. Like, it's probably going to be okay, but maybe not. We don't know. So my whole life started as a leap of faith. Started as, you never know, who knows, And so I've had to work very, very hard at finding the places and the things that bring me peace. And I have found throughout my life that the things that have brought me the most peace are And this is going to sound really ironic because I'm talking about, you know, being such a solitary person very often, and I'm a solo artist, and I'm a very, very kind of independent human being. But I find that community has been the thing that has kind of saved my life over and over again. You know, like theater is a perfect example, you know. Theater for me is like I get to put this show together, I get to work on it for 2 years, 3 years, however long it takes to finally get it up on its feet and be in a theater and, you know, be in any kind of sacred space and share it with an audience. And for me, it's like I get to hang out with people. I get to be with other people. I get to feel all this love, all this, you know, common energy. You know, we get to have this beautiful shared experience together. And for me, that's everything, you know? And it gives me everything. And you know, just, that's one of the reasons I love New York City so much. You know, and I've lived there the majority of my life because I feel like you can be you could be a person like me, you could be a loner, you could be a solitary human being, but you could go out in the street and you could be around so many people. You know, you can be around so much of humanity and people from all walks of life, and it just builds your empathy. And life is all about peace and empathy. You can give 100% all the time. And you know, I don't believe in this give 110%, give 150%. You can only give all of who you are, all of what you have, and everything is 100%. So you can give everything in the work that you do, in your relationships, in your love, in your friendships, and everything. You can give everything, but you have to find peace. And you also have to listen, you have to stop, you have to learn how to be quiet, you have to learn how to receive other people, and you have to continually grow your empathy. That is everything. If you don't have peace, if you don't have empathy, you're going to find that you have nothing.